On today's show, we talk about how Twitter bots might have helped Trump get elected and how students are reacting to this election.
Also, we have the latest on bank controversies and later cover your world news all in the span of 24 hours.
You're watching Studio G and it starts right now. Good afternoon, Rebels. I'm Karina Perez.
And I'm Amber Michael. Today's show begins with some breaking news. Last night, the official report that a student was attacked on campus while walking to her car. Even though she escaped the attacker, there is currently a description of the suspect, and police have encouraged all students to walk in pairs to their vehicles, especially during these late nights on campus approaching finals week. We regrettably start the show with this information, but wanted to keep you informed. In lighter news, UNLV has won 7 championships in the last 8 months. From golf to tennis to soccer, our athletes are dominating these sports. Justin Guzman has a story.
Hey Rebel fans, in this installment of In Case You Missed It, we're going to talk about championships. In case you missed it, or maybe just weren't paying attention, the Rebels have won 7 collegiate championships since April. The women's golf team, led by junior Alexander Cole, started off by winning the 5th Mountain West Golf Championship in school history. In fact, Cole won the individual championship with the largest winning margin of victory in Mountain West history. The men's golf team quickly followed it up with a Mountain West championship of their own the following week. Led by junior John Oda, the men's team captured their first championship in 14 years. And a week after that, on the same day, both the men's and women's tennis teams won their respective Mountain West championships. The men's win shattered Boise State's 4-year run of Mountain West titles, while the Lady Rebels' win against top-seeded Fresno State also avenged their only loss of the season. Now, with these recent November victories in men's and women's soccer, the Rebels have won a total of 7 championships in the past 8 months. The men's soccer team, which played in the Western Athletic Conference, won their 2nd WAC championship in 3 years, while the women's team will go down as one of the best in school history, setting 6 single-season team records, winning both the Mountain West regular season and tournament championship for the first time in school history, and being awarded Mountain West Offensive and Defensive Player of the Year awards, as well as Coach of the Year. So, that's what you missed in case you missed it. For the Rebel Report, I'm Justin Guzman.
In this month alone, UNLV soccer for both men and women have won 3 championships for our school. Women's soccer holds 2 titles. They are currently the regular season champs as well as tournament winners. Go Rebels!
Speaking of winning, even though it's been almost 2 weeks since the results were revealed, some are still concerned with who won this election. Studio G reporter Denise Hernandez caught up with students on how they felt about this year's results.
Tuesday night, the United States welcomed its 45th president. But while some are thrilled with the results, others not so much. I went around UNLV's campus to ask its students about how they felt about the general election results.
Point and being bitter about everything. Like if we all stand together and to believe what we believe, he can't really do much.
I watched as a man stood up against the entire world and told them that they were wrong. I watched as he alone took the fight to the elites in Washington. And I saw him endure every assault from all corners, from both the left and the right, and come out not only unscathed, but victorious.
Being part of the LGBT community myself, it scares me, like we could lose rights because of that, especially that what he believes and what his vice president believes on conversion therapy, those are going backwards in our progressive country right now, and that's just not right, and that's not what I think a majority of America needs and believes in.
I am worried about the divide of the nation. because, like I said, the reason our political system has worked for over 240 years is because we have accepted the results of elections, and I worry that the divide is going to work to undermine that.
Look on my Facebook and I see so many of my close friends, close family members telling people who voted a certain way to unfriend each other, block each other, never have any more contact with each other. And I've seen my own family members do this, and it's really sad that we're cutting our ties with people we've known for years, maybe even decades, because of a vote.
There's a question that this was one of the most anticipated elections we've had, and millennials definitely have voiced their opinions on both candidates.
Donald Trump was elected into office after a surprising victory over the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton. Since then, the nation has split in disbelief over the results, which has led to protests breaking out in cities throughout the country. But new research has gone viral on all forms of social media, suggesting that if only millennials, people between the ages of 18 to 25 votes had been counted, then the country would be looking at a different president-elect. As demonstrated on the map, voter demographics between the ages show that the country is lit up in blue, which stands for the Democratic Party. The popular vote gives hope of Hillary Clinton dominating the polls. However, this graph only shows how millennials voted and doesn't cover overall voter turnout. CNN reported that Hillary Clinton did lead with millennial voters taking in 54% of the election results. While many are not too pleased with the results of last Tuesday's election, it's clear that the youth of today is taking a stand for their voices and future votes to be heard.
The key to democracy is public engagement. Social media has played a major role this election compared to others, and unfortunately is sometimes used for manipulative purposes. It turns out that much political content Americans were seeing online was not produced by human users during this election. It's been said that Twitter bots may have helped the president-elect the most. Twitter bots are artificial intelligence systems that automatically produce content for a politically based agenda. 1 in every 5 election-related tweets between September 16th and October 21st was generated by a Twitter bot. This adds up to more than 400,000 social bots. These systems are able to tweet at consistent rates, engaging in political discussions held on Twitter. While there are no official reports to quantify the effects of the Twitter bots on the election, it is plausible to think that online wars with Twitter bots could have affected the voter turnout.
With new election comes changes. Nevada's ballot included a list of initiatives.
A total of 4 ballot measures appeared on the Nevada ballot on November 8, 2016. Issues on the ballot included marijuana, firearms, energy, and taxes. Question 1 was approved and required that an unlicensed person who wishes to sell or transfer a firearm to another person conduct the transfer through a licensed gun dealer who runs a background check. Question 2 was also approved, legalizing, regulating, and taxing marijuana for adults. Question 3 would eliminate energy monopolies and minimize the regulatory burden. The measure was approved. As a constitutional amendment, the measure needs to be approved again in 2018. Question 4 would require that certain types of equipment, including durable medical equipment, mobility-enhancing equipment, and oxygen-delivering equipment, be exempt from the sales and use tax. This measure was also approved. As a constitutional amendment, the measure needs to be approved again in 2018 as well. Question 5 was a veto referendum that would have retained or repealed the section of Senate Bill 374 that established a fixed fee for solar customers that differed from the fixed fee for other ratepayers. The Nevada Supreme Court removed it from the ballot on August 4, 2016. The court ruled that the measure's description contained biased language, and therefore was not voted on during this election season.
With the approval of these initiatives, Nevada can expect to see the changes in the upcoming months.
Coming up, we discuss the changes colleges have seen across the country that affect tuition and financial aid.
You will also want to stay tuned for world news, and we talk about tonight's major event in Las Vegas. We'll be right back after the break.
My name is Walter from Deep Thought.
My name is Bruce Gill. I'm the host of La Alternativa.
Perfect Music Radio with me, Lily.
My name is Sam, and I host Sunday Evening Jazz.
I am Rockin' Gemini.
This is Jalen Young on More Than Music Mondays.
And listen to us on the Rebel HD2.
As far as Studio G, at first it looks overwhelming, and at first it looks like it's a lot of work, but I'll tell you what, it's the most beneficial class I've had at UNLV to date, without a doubt. You get to not only develop stories and work on your interviewing skills, your editing skills, and your shooting skills from a camera perspective, you get to work on all the equipment that's in the studio. So you're working on audio, you're working on directing, tech directing, you get to produce your own show. You can take a 30-minute newscast and make it your own. And that's really cool about Studio G. Like I said, a lot of it seems overwhelming at first, but it is by far the best class I've taken at UNLV since I've been here.
FAFSA has some changes in store for the next academic year. Students have now been able to file their 2017-2018 FAFSA since last month. Usually students had to wait until January. In previous years, they were also required to submit information from the same year they were applying for the aid. But now students can apply for aid as soon as the year before. But college tuition and other fees have risen from the past years. College Board released a report that showed a 2 to 4% increase in tuition for 2016-2017 school year, according to reports. Financial aid isn't covering all charges with the rising tuition costs. In 2014, the Nevada Board of Regents voted to pass a tuition hike that began last year, which would see a 4% increase a year for 4 years. The tuition increase would help UNLV hire more faculty and provide more student support systems, but many oppose the increase because it would cause students to graduate in more debt. The average Nevada college student graduates with $20,000 in debt, which is $6,000 lower than the national average. So with the increases in tuition happening every year and financial aid not being able to keep up, some UNLV students are taking their losses.
Unfortunately, a local man also lost a lot of money this year. Watching your credit score can be difficult, especially if you have multiple accounts opened and are not monitoring them online. Some people who like receiving paper statements are reluctant to switch, potentially putting them at risk. This a lesson some have learned the hard way. Chelsea Bangle with the story.
Bill Marshall enjoys the retirement life. His house is paid off and expenses are in order. Because Bill has always gone by a simple saying.
It's not what you make, it's what you have left.
And he thought he had a lot until he received a call from U.S. Bank.
He was calling me to help me so I didn't have to pay that extra $7.50 on a bad check. And then that's when it started snowballing.
Turns out the hackers got into Bill's checking account and accessed his home equity line of credit. They took about $86,000 from him.
It's kind of like getting punched in the stomach.
He reported it immediately to the bank, but that wasn't fast enough. State laws say you, the consumer, must report fraud within 30 days of it happening. Federal law says 60, but reporting it after that makes you 100% liable. And Bill didn't find out about the fraud for months after it happened because the hackers had switched his statements to paperless and sent it to another address.
So instead of U.S. Bank notifying me that there's a problem, they're notifying the crooks who are stealing the money.
U.S. Bank has refunded him about $30,000 so far because it was reported in time, but the rest, Bill may never see.
It makes you feel violated. I'd rather have somebody try to break through my door, at least they have a fighting chance.
Bill says he'll fight his case for as long as he needs to and is willing to take it all the way to the Supreme Court because he doesn't want hackers to win or steal his golden years retirement plan. For Studio G, I'm Chelsea Bangle.
If you are concerned about your credit score, you can check your credit report for free once a year at Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Even though he personally had trouble with U.S. Bank, there are other banks that are contributing to a controversial issue.
Last week, actress Susan Sarandon encouraged other activists to pull their money out of banks that are investing in the DAPL, known as the Dakota Access Pipeline. This pipeline is being built on territory that has promised the Standing Rock tribe in a 1851 treaty. Sarandon has been vocal about being against the pipeline and has launched an online petition asking Americans to withdraw their money from banks and put it in unions instead.
They're water protectors, some of whom are native, some of whom are not, who were having a peaceful ceremony. And so to wait, as Obama wants to do, for 2 weeks to see how it plays out, it's already been playing out with people being arrested and strip searched and put in dog kennels overnight, naked, putting numbers on their arms, things that don't even seem like this could be America. And because no one is really, from the mainstream media, is doing stories on it, people.
Sarandon also participated in a protest against the pipeline in Los Angeles, telling listeners why they should be against the pipeline.
Past week has been very upsetting for some people after this election. People are depressed, people are angry. There are a lot of people that take to the streets. I just want to say that we don't have the luxury of being depressed and angry at this time. This is a pressing issue. If only we had that many people that were aware of what's going on in Standing Rock and would be standing with our brothers and sisters.
Supporters say that the construction of the pipeline will help out the economy and decrease the reliance on foreign oil, with so many things happening all over the world. What has happened in the last 24 hours, Mary Jane?
Well, a lot has happened. Anything from protests to even stores closing on Thanksgiving. Dozens of right-wing protesters fled into Brazil's legislative chamber yesterday to demand a military coup. Approximately 40 people took over the podium in support of a new takeover in response to a staggering economy and widespread corruption. No injuries were reported during the protest, and police detained demonstrators for questioning. Scientists expressed concerns and fear climate change is contributing to the decrease in the Arctic reindeer population. Researchers in Arctic Russia speculate that thousands of reindeer could die. About 20,000 reindeer died in 2006, and 61,000 reindeer died in 2013. Besides decreasing levels of ice and rising temperatures, the animals' usual food supply and vegetation succumbed to snow, starving thousands of reindeer. Hollywood actress and model Malika Sherwatt left gassed and beaten after criminals robbed her inside her apartment in Paris, France. The attackers wore scarves concealing their faces and sprayed tear gas before fleeing the scene. Police launched an investigation with detectives. No charges were filed. The incident occurred over a month after reality star Kim Kardashian's robbery incident. On a lighter note, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them premieres tonight. The Harry Potter spin-off stars Eddie Redmayne as Newt Scamander and Catherine Waterstone as Porpentina Goldstein. The movie follows the magical creatures in the Harry Potter universe. With the holiday season right around the corner, more retail stores are choosing to stay closed on holidays, which might affect the way you shop. Companies give different reasons for the shift, like employees should be able to spend time with their families. For some retailers, the chaos of the holidays may be too much to handle. Although some stores, like Sears, will open fewer stores with shorter hours on Thanksgiving. Speaking of Thanksgiving, most of us will spend the holiday cooking and spending meals with our family. However, not everyone is celebrating the traditional way. Cultures all around the world throw in their own personal touch for the historic holiday. Ghanaian American families honor a traditional harvest festival called Homowo, which they incorporate into American Thanksgiving by serving yam soups and stews. While in Italy, a lot of families celebrate antipasta, and a lot of Korean American families add in soy, ginger, and honey into their turkey for a flavor taste, and some families skip the turkey entirely and serve duck. Either way, we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving next week and enjoy your break. Do you guys have any plans for Thanksgiving, by the way?
Not yet. Not really. I'm looking more forward to Black Friday, but
Yeah.
Yeah, my family always has a really big Thanksgiving. I actually grew up with 3 older brothers, so the whole family comes. My nieces and uncles and aunts tend to come into town as well, so it's usually a big celebration.
A lot of get-together.
Yeah.
AAA is calling it the biggest Thanksgiving rush in years. More than 48.7 million Americans are expected to take the highways, skies, and seas. It's all thanks to the economy and consumer confidence, says economists. AAA says this year's increase in travel would mark the 8th year of growth, boosting totals to the highest volume since 2007. Driving remains the most popular mode of transportation between November 23rd and 27th, and it comes with major perks. Gas prices will be at the second cheapest they've been in nearly a decade. Airplanes, on the other hand, will still carry the most passengers since 2007.
We're just over a week away from the annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and now we're getting a first look at some of the floats that will be seen strolling through New York on Thanksgiving. New floats this year are the Aloha Spirit featuring a working waterfall, the Girl Scouts Building a Better World, Deck the Halls, and Craze Glue's Funhouse. The elaborate and, without a doubt, expensive. The 26 floats are 3 stories, for some 24 feet wide and 30 to 40 feet long, must be taken apart in order to get through the Lincoln Tunnel so that they may be shown during the Macy's Day Parade. In 90 years, the parade has only been canceled for 3 years during the World War II. It marched on after 9/11 and marched on 6 days after the JFK assassination. Though the world may experience tough times, they can always turn their eyes upward to floats and balloons that litter the city in a great jubilee.
With Thanksgiving comes discontinued shopping. It seems Black Friday sales get longer and longer each year, and Amazon, as well as other shopping companies, are preparing for one heck of a season. Amazon is now offering what it calls its Black Friday deals. Boxes are getting packed and shipped off from Amazon warehouses ahead of the holiday shopping season. Amazon announced it will offer bargains on a variety of products. The company says some of the bigger deals will happen between Thanksgiving and the Cyber Monday that follows.
If you are looking forward to taking advantage of those deals, here is your warning. All buyers beware. As shopping season begins, Forbes is telling shoppers to be aware because not every deal is a bargain. Though the season rings of deals, you've been waiting all year to see this fact remain. Says Forbes that deals exist outside and before the season begins to get rid of goods to make way for the bigger ticket deals. Scams are also a big cash cow for thieves this time of year. If you see deals for more credit cards in the mail or your emails, check the entity sites to make sure that the email you are getting is from, let's say, a real Target store site or a real Kohl's store site instead of one of the only seems like it.
After the break, we take another look at the popular mannequin challenge. This frenzy has not just been used for fun. We'll be right back.
To do an internship, you have to do an internship. It's one of the requirements for a journalism major. You have to do an internship before you can graduate.
Definitely having an internship as a requirement really helps push yourself out there and to just remind you that your graduation is coming up soon. You're going to have to need some work experience in your career. So it's really good to put yourself out there early on, and they tend to help students a lot more. So when you do a student internship, it really helps out a lot.
Our Metropolis is a 30-minute show that airs every Tuesday evening at 91.5. You're going to hear Dr. Gary Larson along with our regular contributors talking about what matters to our community. And not only what matters, but why does it matter? We look at our community as a whole, but we also pay special attention to what's happening here at UNLV because that's our home as well. So looking at our Metropolis through the lens of a radio show really gives us the unique perspective to tell a story through words and through people, and I think it makes for a great program.
Well, Welcome back. Social media has embraced the mannequin challenge. And although we've seen many celebrities school kids and now pets posting their videos online, there has recently been a different use for the trend. People are using their creativity to shed light on usually touchy subjects.
Black Beatles in the city, be back immediately to confiscate the money.
If you haven't already heard about the mannequin challenge, it is a video where a group of people hold poses like statues to the song Black Beatles by Ray Shremmerd. It has been the latest social media craze for the past month. This challenge has now even become a platform for social issues like police brutality, civil rights, Black Lives Matter, and domestic violence, where instead of holding funny poses, people are depicting real-life situations to bring awareness to the reality of these issues. In this video, people are depicting key moments from recent months and past years, such as Philando Castile, Sandra Bland, Trayvon Martin, and football player Colin Kaepernick. Everyone has joined in on this challenge now. College athletes, politicians, celebrities, animals, and even Las Vegas performer Britney Spears. For Studio G, I'm Kaylee Kirby.
The craze is used for fun and awareness. We have yet to see all celebrities participate, but there has been talk of the mannequin challenge at the Grammys tonight.
The Latin Grammys are happening tonight, right here in Las Vegas at the T-Mobile Arena. You can bet it's going to be a hot show. We have a look at this year's lineup.
Va a ser espectacular.
Fonseca,
Laura Pausini, Marc Anthony, Histórico, Farruko, Prince Royce,
Diego Torres,
Gente de Zona, ¡qué emoción!
Mon Laferte,
Yandel,
Jos Favela,
Los Recoditos,
¡qué manera de empezar!
Pablo Lobares, todo listo para la fiesta.
Alexis Fido,
Una gran noche, señores.
Manuel Medrano,
Gerardo Ortiz. Esto va a estar del show, mi gente.
Artists Julio Reyes Copello, Devon Fonseca, Ricardo Lopez lead duo, Jesse and Joy led the pack with 4 nominations each singer. Marc Anthony will also be honored as the Latin Recording Academy Person of the Year. Some of the performers include J Balvin, Pharrell, and the one and only Jennifer Lopez. This is one of the biggest nights in Latin music ever.
Está en él. Y él. En cada. Y cada. Está en ellos. Y está en ti. La mejor música latina del mundo. En vivo. La 15ª entrega.
The award show has already gave back to the Valley. Earlier this week, through the Latin Grammy Culture Foundation, they were able to donate over $20,000 worth of brand new instruments to Desert Pines High School. It's not too late to snag a ticket to the show. They start at $99 and are available on ticketoffice.com. If you can't make it to the show, the 17th Annual Latin Grammy will be broadcast live tonight on the Univision Network at 8 p.m.
There has been an award given to the star of Rush Hour, Shanghai Noon, and The Tuxedo. All 3 have one person in common, Jackie Chan. Here's a look at this, more personal moments while filming those movies.
What? Freeze! A freeze! Okay? Jackie, okay? All right. Jackie, always okay.
Jackie Chan received an honorary award at the 2016 Governor's Awards. Chan received this honor for being a true pioneer and legend in the craft. Notable actors such as Tom Hanks and Chris Tucker honored Chan before he received his award.
After 56 years film industry, making more than 200 films, I break so many bones. Finally, this is mine.
Fans of Chan were happy to see him recognized for his craft, and although there's no talk of new movies, we all agree he's had an impressive body of work. We don't have any awards here in studio, but we want to acknowledge our own Megan Eisenhower on a big achievement. She was just hired at USC's. Congrats, Megan.
We're proud of you. Now, before we leave, we want to thank you for watching another episode of Studio G.
You can follow us on social media using UNLV Studio.
And as always, tune in tomorrow for more stories provided by Studio G. From all of us here, we hope you have a great rest of your day, Rebels, and since we won't be seeing you next Thursday, a great holiday. Are we bantering the teacher?